The most innovative startups don't just experiment once, they build experimentation into their DNA. A culture of experimentation means every decision, from product design to marketing, is guided by curiosity, testing, and learning. It's about empowering your team to explore ideas fearlessly, validate assumptions quickly, and treat failure as a pathway to discovery. Building this culture starts with a mindset shift. Traditional businesses often focus on getting things right, but in the MVP world, success comes from learning fast. You're not trying to be perfect, you're trying to be informed. Each experiment helps you move closer to what works. To create a culture of experimentation, start by defining what experimentation means for your company. It's not chaos or random trial and error. It's a structured way of testing ideas with measurable outcomes. Every experiment should begin with a hypothesis, a statement that can be tested. For example, if we simplify our sign-up process, more users will complete registration. The goal isn't to prove yourself right. It's to learn what's true. Next, make experimentation safe and encouraged. People won't experiment if they fear failure or blame. As a founder or leader, you set the tone. Celebrate learning moments, even when results don't meet expectations. Ask your team, "What did we learn?" instead of "Why did this fail?" This simple language shift creates psychological safety and builds trust. A strong culture of experimentation thrives on data and curiosity. Encourage your team to ask questions like, "What do users really want?" or "What would happen if we tried this differently?" Equip them with tools to find answers. Use analytics platforms, A/B testing tools, and surveys to collect evidence. When decisions are based on data instead of opinions, your company becomes more resilient and agile. To embed experimentation into your workflow, start small. Introduce short, focused tests in different areas of your business: product, marketing, and operations. Product experiments. Test different features, user flows, or onboarding messages to see which improves engagement. Marketing experiments. Try new channels or campaign messages to discover what resonates with your audience. Process experiments. Adjust meeting formats, work routines, or collaboration tools to find what boosts productivity. The secret to successful experimentation is speed. Run small, low-cost tests that deliver fast feedback. Instead of spending weeks on a perfect launch, ship a minimal version, measure results, and iterate. The faster your feedback loop, the faster your team learns. Another key principle is transparency. Share results openly across your company. What worked, what didn't, and why. Use dashboards, internal newsletters, or brief weekly updates to showcase learnings. This creates momentum and motivates others to contribute their own ideas. It's also important to establish clear metrics for success. Every experiment should have a measurable outcome tied to your goals. For example, increase activation rate by 10% or reduce churn by 5%. Having clear metrics ensures experiments remain focused and prevents random testing. To sustain a culture of experimentation, leaders must lead by example. When founders and managers openly test ideas, admit uncertainty, and share learnings, it sets a powerful precedent. It tells the team that experimentation isn't optional, it's expected. You can also create formal systems that support experimentation. For instance, allocate a portion of your budget or time specifically for testing. Google famously used the 20% rule, allowing employees to spend part of their week on passion projects. You don't need to replicate that exactly, but giving space for experimentation sends a strong message that innovation is valued. As your company grows, experimentation will evolve. Early on, it's about survival, testing the core product and market fit. Later, it's about optimization, fine-tuning growth, operations, and customer experience. But the principle stays the same: learning faster than your competition. A culture of experimentation also relies on documentation. Record each test, what was tried, what data was collected, and what insights emerged. Over time, this becomes a knowledge library that helps future teams avoid repeating mistakes and build on prior success. Another crucial component is cross-functional collaboration. The best ideas often come from unexpected places. Encourage engineers, marketers, designers, and customer support teams to contribute experiments. When everyone feels ownership over learning, innovation compounds. Of course, not every experiment will succeed, and that's the point. In fact, if every test you run works, you're not experimenting boldly enough. A healthy ratio of wins and failures means you're pushing boundaries. The goal is progress, not perfection. Finally, link experimentation to your company's mission. Remind your team that every test brings you closer to understanding your users and delivering real value. When experimentation has purpose, it becomes energizing rather than exhausting. In summary, building a culture of experimentation transforms your company into a learning machine. Define clear hypotheses, encourage curiosity, and make failure safe. Empower your team with data and tools and celebrate every insight, good or bad. Because innovation doesn't come from luck, it comes from continuous learning, one experiment at a time.